Hey, what's happening guys? Mark back in the workshop from Mark's Aquatics. Welcome back to part 4 of the bench tank build. I've put all the, as you can see now, I've put some other pieces of wood on the side here. And we've made it into one big picture frame. We've added some different strength. I'll show you that in a while. But at the moment, we're going to get on, we're going to try and build a little filter system. I've been giving it a bit of thought. Now JBL have kindly given us 2 of these PowerFlow T500s, which are great little pumps. I've used these before on water features. Really shallow. You don't have to put them in much water for them to work, so they're ideal for little fountains and things, indoor projects, if you want to build stuff like that. I used a similar one in the mini pond build. Very similar one. It wasn't by JBL, but it was a similar size. But if I would have had one of these, it would have probably worked a little bit better, to be honest, because they don't need as much headroom. The flow rate on these is about 200 to 500 litres an hour. So on its minimum, it's 200 litres. To its maximum, you switch that little lever over there. We'll get it out of the box and we'll have a look. It's probably easier to show you. Comes with a couple of 2 or 3 little suckers there to go onto the pump itself, and these little holes. You just depress those in each hole, give them a little squeeze in there, and then that will stick to the bottom of your tank, or onto the side of your tank, wherever you want to stick it. It'll work well. You've got a nice little catch there as well if you want to put the cable up, which we're going to need to do. You can click it into there like that, which will hold it in place. Now these are only very small pumps, but they are super efficient pumps. They only run on 5 watts. That's it, 5 watts of power. So the whole power in this system here is going to be 10 watts, because we're going to be running 2 of these. What we're going to do is we are going to incorporate them. We're not going to need the suckers for this one, so we can put them to one side. I might actually stick them on here, because if you can see on the side there, the actual filter is going to fit inside that piece of wood there, so it's going to be invisible to the eye through the frame. But what we've got to do, because I want to incorporate a trickle filter onto this system as well, so what I'm going to try and do is we're going to stand this up inside. We're going to put that sponge now, we're going to slice that. I want to slice that all the way down there. I'll do that for you now. I've already trimmed off one edge, you see, just trimmed off that edge down there like that, just so when it goes inside, because as we've made the tank, imagine that's the 90-degree angle there, that's going to fit in there, but we've taken the silicone has taken up some space, so we just cut the piece, trimmed a bit of that off, and now that will fit tightly against the inside of the wall like that. No hassle at all. So what we've got to do now, there's our cut line now, so I'll twist it that way. These come pre-drilled. I got these from eBay, these sponges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that nice straight line with a super sharp blade all the way down to nearly the bottom. It doesn't go all the way through, you see, it's only partially drilled. And now what we can do, we can open that up like a big sock. Probably go down a little bit further with that cut actually. It goes down to probably be about 1 inch from the bottom, that hole, but we can leave a little pocket in there now. So what I'm going to do is pop it inside here like that. I'll just pause you for a second. Got to have a swig of the old coffee. If you like these little videos guys, hit the old subscribe button, be most appreciated, and give the old videos a thumbs up if you would. I know many of you do, and I really appreciate that. Loving the comments, good and bad. Don't get many bad ones, I'm quite lucky like that. Right, what I was going to say, yes, probably a lot of people are going to think, oh, a lot of these filters you can just, I see them on, you can just basically get that, and you could, in theory, push that in top of there like that, okay? So you only have to probably cut it down to there if you want to do it this way. Push that in there and have a bit of pipe coming out, and that would be your main filter. That you could just stick that inside a tank and that would make a fantastic filter. Little 5 watt filter hidden inside like a matting filter design would be. So if you've got shrimps, they're going to crawl all over this with the biofilm which is being created on there, and you're going to get a really good little harvest of biofilm for your shrimp to eat. But as that is there, we don't want to do that though, because we're going to put a trickle filter on the top and put some of that media that we've got from JBL in the top, and some from Richard from Pond Guru as well. Some of the biohome we're going to put in that as well. And so we're not going to put that there. We want this to go nice and deep inside, and then it will suck in from everywhere. But what I've discovered is, I went on eBay and I found some of this 15mm acrylic tube. Okay, there you go, lovely clear tube, which fits absolutely perfectly onto the top of this little JBL pump. Look at that, nice and tight, it's not going to come off of there. And now we've got a big old lift tube to go up, okay, because we need that, water to be pumped up, so it's going to be sucking through that sponge. I'll just show you now. We can get that, we can push that inside now. Like that. We can put the cable inside as well. And then what I've got here is some stainless steel wire, which is perfectly safe in your tanks. So a lot of your shafts and your pumps and everything are all made out of stainless steel. They're not going to leach anything horrible into your tank, so don't be worrying about that too much. Now if I cut that in half or thereabouts, like so, then you can grab one end like that, twist him round there, grab that end and bend that round there and level him up. And if you want to be fancy and level it, you can level it up, and there you go. Look, you've just made yourself a nice little staple out of stainless steel. Now you can push that around like that. Pumps there, it's not going to go in there, is it? There you go. We got one staple there now. This is going to be at the back of the tank, so it's not too much of a worry there. But we can make another one of these guys quickly like that. Use your pliers. Using the pliers as a gauge. You know, that one's pretty much spot on there. And as we go up there now, we can just pop that one in there. And so basically now we've encased that now inside there with our wire coming out the top. So we've got one huge biological filter there. But then what we've got to do is we want this to come up, and then we want a 90° across there into a spray bar. Now if you go to your DIY shops, 15mm, you can buy these, which are just little push together fittings, and they just snap on and they're watertight. You've got no worries, nothing to do up, and all you have to do if you want to release it is push that little collet in there, hold it down and just pull the pipe back out again, okay? And that is going to fit here. I just popped on there like that. Now that won't leak at all, you see, and that is rigid on there now. That's not going to come off at all. Now that's going to be my 90° now to go into. I'll probably cut this pipe down obviously to get the right height we need, and then I'll put another piece onto there, and then I've got another one of these which I'm going to make it a 90° going back down again there. I'll just grab, I've got another one here, look, if I don't throw it about. And then I'm going to have another one there with a small piece of pipe going into there. Then that's going to drop down then into our tube, which is going to be full of the media. And then it's going to come down through the holes through the big spray bar that we're going to build to go on the top as well. Now like I say, if you want to get these guys off, you just press down, push that collet up, and then you give them a bit of a pull. You can see that, how they hold on. Oh, sorry about that. You can see how they hold on. They've put little scratches in the pipe there, but it's like a little blade inside there. I don't know if you can see it, which holds on as it pushes in. It won't let go, and then you've got your little washer further down in there which seals around the pipe further down. So it doesn't matter if this gets scratched up because your seal's further down there, you see. So there's our little bio filter so far. I've made the other one up already, and that's just going to keep on drawing that water all the way through there. When it gets a bit blocked up there, it's going to start sucking it in from somewhere else, and it's going to create a really good little filter in that tank, which is what we're after. These pumps also come with a good length of lead. You get a good 6 foot length of lead with these, so you can you've got plenty of room to wander about with them and to plug them in places. Some of the other pumps you only get a couple of you only get maybe a foot, 2 foot of cable, and it's just not enough. But with these JBL ones, they get a good, you've got a good 6 foot there of cable, which is great because this tank's 6 foot. I'll put the wiring upstairs, up above the tank, out the way, so that's going to be all good. And like I said, with these little pumps, guys, they are super powerful for what they are. People overpower their aquariums and their ponds and different things so much these days, I find. And you end up people buying, I've seen it on so many times online, where you'll see somebody and they'll say, oh yeah, I bought a new power head for my marine tank or for my float, for just a circulation pump in a big planted tank, and it's literally blowing. It's like a sandstorm in the Sahara. So there's plants blowing everywhere. As soon as they turn it on, they don't realise how much power these little pumps have got these days, and you can easily overpower it. Some of them have got controls on them, but even at their lowest settings, sometimes they'll still blow your media, and if you've got fine sand in there, that will blow them around quite a lot, which you don't really want, especially with shrimp and stuff, because they're going to be getting blown around as well. But like I said, with these little pumps here, they're really good circulation. And you think that's for that size pump that's in there, it's going to be pumping 500, well, from 200 to 500 litres an hour. And with two of those, you're talking, both of these I'm going to have running on 500 litres an hour. So you've got a turnover of 1,000 litres an hour, which is going to be well enough for this tank with the dimensions of it. And with that additional spray bar along the top there, it's just going to be a super filter. It really is going to be working good. And it's going to keep all our little friends really healthy. They've got a good head height on them as well. They'll 0.8 metres, which is about just over 2 foot head height. So you imagine that, you've got 2 foot tank. It's going to go right up, it's going to blow it right up and in. So it's got a good head height on it. Some of the pumps you plug in, they won't go more than 6 inches to 8 inches high, and then the pressure, the back pressure, they just won't pump anymore. But these little pumps are great for that. Absolutely brilliant. They're the little pumps, the PowerFlow T500s. So if you've got a small display and you just want a nice little circulation pump there, you can make it into a nice little filter, like I said before. If you just want to put it in the top of the sponge and make just a sponge filter like that. 5 watts running of power consumption, that's all it is. Like I say, 5 watts running power, so you can't go wrong with that. Yeah, in the past I've used these little PowerFlows for my terrariums when I've had dart frogs, which was a really interesting time when I was keeping those. And I used to use one of these little pumps. Wasn't this the 500 version? It was an earlier one than that. And I used to run a little waterfall with it, a little cascade waterfall, and all the little frogs and the froglets used to just hop around and all over the place in there, and it was fabulous. It created a really nice little environment for them. And the same with like little terrapin tanks. You can use them in fresh salt water as well. So they're really good all-rounders. So if you want a good little pump, and they come from a different range as well. They've got a whole range of these pumps as well, and they go up in different sizes. Yeah, they got different sizes. They got the ProFlow U800, the ProFlow U1100, and the ProFlow U2000 as well, litres an hour. And like I said, they'll come in a great range of. They've got a great range of pumps there. So if you want a good little pump, guys, you want to hook yourself up with one of those, you won't go far wrong. Okay. Right, what we're going to do now is we've got to take the top off this tank. I'm going to set you up in a different angle now, and we can take the lid off of this tank, and I'll show you a little bit more about that. Right, there you go, guys. I've stained all the tank now. I've done it in a nice sort of oak colour. I've I've put these corner pieces on now as well, because this is where our filters now are going to be housed, in the side here. We're going to have one of those each side, okay, and then this is going to come up and tee off across this way underneath there, okay. So that's where that's going to go. I've run the router all the way around here, all the way around the top and the bottom, along here as well, and likewise on the other side, and we've put a nice taper on there to fancy it up a little bit. So it's looking a little bit better now. We've got some stain on it. Move all this rubbish out of the way. And it's coming on it's looking alright so far. Still needs another rub down and another coat of varnish afterwards, just to bring it up nicely. But everything's coming together now, and nice and strong. What I've done is, for extra security around the top here, this is a tight fitting lid. Now where I put these pillars to support them as they go round, the lid actually comes down now, as you can see. It's quite stiff on there. And then we can take this off and put that to one side when we're doing maintenance on this. I've had a couple of you guys say it's going to be fun getting in there, but I've got a lot of tongs and on a small stool I can get my arm in that far, nearly halfway already. That's without going up on a little step which I've got. So it's not worked out too bad. Like I say, we've got added stress now on the corners to get rid of anything. We've got the 3 siliconed in braces now, so that's nice and secure. Silicone these in place. I know you can see the silicone inside there, but when the sponges go in there and the media's in there, you're not going to see that anyway. So that's all going to be hidden out of the way. So what we've got to do now, guys, is we've got to rig out how we're going to do this. I love doing these things off the bat. I don't work anything out. I just come in here, press play, and you just join me along with a ride. So anything can happen, really. Right, what are we going to do? I've got this white pipe from down the old Builders Merchants, and we got some collars on the end there, and also, I don't know if you can see this properly, can you? Oh yeah. You get these end caps which can go on there like that. You can see those. I've got to get some better lighting in this place, I really have. How's that? Is that better? That's a bit brighter. Sometimes I put a little bit of the old duct tape on the back of my light because it saves on the glare, but so that's the game plan. So what we've got to do, we've got to get some of this solvent cement, which all your plumbing stuff is put together. If you're familiar with making your own tanks and stuff, just the old solvent cement which you put around the edges of these, just paint it around and then you just push it on with a slight twist. Now the Builders Merchants are clever carry-ons, I nearly swore, because they always put the stickers with the barcodes on the bit that you want to stick. That's a really intelligent thing to do. So then you've got to go and get yourself some meth or something or other to clean that all off, so you've got a really good seal in there, and it binds tight together. Sometimes you can pour boiling water on it, or leave them soak for a bit and they'll come off, or olive oil. Sometimes people say put some olive oil on one of these, on the stickers, and then it will soak into it and dissolve it slowly, and it will just come off. There you go. So we got one of those, some more of these 90 degrees, and another one of those, because we don't want the water pouring out either end, so we're going to have one of these on each end. But then what I've got to do is what I've got to do is I've got to bring that down. If you imagine now, there's your pipe there. So I rest that on the tank, what I want to do is put that into there like that, you see, so a pipe's coming off like that first on there, and then you've got another one then, and another bit of pipe going in there, so then the water's going to be pushed in through there, and we're going to fill this tube then up with media all the way through. So any time that we need to take it out, we've just got to unscrew these because they've got a screw end on. We can empty all the media out, we can wash it out if we like at any time to give it a clean for maintenance, and then screw that back on again, and everything will be made so it can all come apart. So that's going to be important for this tank. I've had to do a little bit of thought on it because it's tight and we've got not a lot of headroom here. Everything's got to be able to be taken apart, stripped down and put back together again to keep things clean. So I'm going to get all this stuff cut up to size now and drilled, and when I've prepped it all a little bit more, I'll press play again and we'll go from there, alright guys? Right guys, there you go. I've sorted it all out now. I've put the sponges in there now, in that side, and we've got, like I showed you before, I've put the pump inside the sponge, so that's all hidden out of the way. I've added another bit of sponge now, so that's nice and secure in there, and that whole section now can come up and down like that, both sides. Okay, now what we've got is our little bit of pipe that I've drilled a hole through there, and I drilled a hole through there. Now that's going to go up there like that, and those little bits fit into that hole there. Okay, both sides. I'll show you better in a minute, just to give you a quick idea of what's going on. But now what I've got to do is I've got to glue these ends on and then drill a series of holes. Okay. Alright guys, there you go. We've got the spray bar in place now. We haven't put any media in it yet, because I just want to make sure everything runs okay before we go any further with that, because we're going to have to put some water in it. All the sponges are now in place. The sponges don't go all the way to the bottom, because there's going to be quite a big media bed in here. So and what we've done is I've drilled the holes obviously in between these two bars here, so it's just going to spray in this side between here and here, so I can twist that wherever and angle that nicely, and we can adjust the pumps if we need to. I've got a little mate to show you here, Mr. Lemon. Look how big this guy has got. Hey, you're a big fella now, aren't you? Hey, look at the size of you. Chasing all these little bits around. And yeah, up to mischief, up to all sorts these days he is. Trying to get in my shrimp tanks. Aren't you? Trying to get everywhere you are. What have you been doing? Go and chase the goldfish, go on. Yeah, he certainly has put on some weight, that boy. But yes, getting back to business. Focus on there, please, not my hand. So now it's going to suck through that sponge that way. It's going to get blown up now. The water's going to go up there through that media bar. Likewise, both sides. So it's going to have an equal pressure now. Right, get out of there. It's going to come up both sides now and get pushed across. Like a little wave's going to come across there now, build up pressure, and then it's going to shower, should come down, and we should create a nice little bit of filter action there now. But I'm going to put some water in it first. I think. What are you doing in there? What are you doing? Come out of there. And then we're going to put a backing on here as well. I was thinking of doing the frosted one with an uplighter. I think which would look quite nice, because what I want to try and I'm going to try and create a nice scape in here. But we've got a very minimal width, so it's going to have to be well thought out. But we'll come to something. But I'm quite happy the way that's running in so far. And then what we do is, when we want to do maintenance, we just lift those out. And if you can see there, so those just lift out of that hole like so, and then you can push those down, lift that up like that, push that out the way, the these all turn, push that down, push that sponge out the way like that. You take the bar out with all the media in, you can hold that, and there we go. Then we can clean it all out. We can fill this full of, we're going to fill it full of that media that we've got from JBL as well. I've got a big box of it down there, the scented glass one which they sent us. I can't remember, I think it's Micromech, I think it's called. But we'll put that in the tube as well as the stuff we had from Richard from Ponguru, the Biohome, which is a phenomenal media. If you've never used that before, I suggest you get some of that in your filters, because it's brilliant stuff. It really is. Really good. Oh well, there you go guys. It's all together. Filter system in place. Lid nicely tight on. I've got to make a couple of braces now to go on this side here, just to tie it to the wall here to stop anything wanting to come forwards and squashing me, because the last thing I need is loads of neon tetras in my face first thing in the morning when this thing explodes or falls on me. So that's not going to be good. But basically what it is now, everything's in place now. The sponge is all in place, the filter bar's in place, and I've just designed it now so it can be easily taken apart. So all you do is you just go in there, you lift those bits up, twist them around, drop them down, and then you can just take the lid off. So it's all in there now. So I think what we'll do now is we're going to get some water in this beast and find out if this filter works without any media in first. So we're just going to fill it up just enough, probably halfway up to about here I would say, just to get that just to get those pumps under and just to see how much flow we get there, and then we'll carry on from there guys. Okay. Right guys, there you go. It's all, well, I've got it sort of half full, just over halfway there. Everything seems to be looking alright so far. Got my handy little step here which I can just shift things out of the way. I've got little cable holders up here so I can keep all these cables out of the way. And let's see if these things work. Ah, look at that. Spot on. We've got a lovely little shower coming down now from both sides. So we can leave that running now. That's pumping through there, lovely that is. What do you think? That's 1,000 litres an hour with those two little JBL T500 power flow pumps on there. So that's going to be stacks of filtration for that little tank. And when the bar's full of media as well, which I'll put in probably tomorrow, I'll let this run overnight now, just check everything's okay, that it's all settling in okay, and then we'll top it up the rest of the way tomorrow, I think. Yeah, we've got a nice little area now. We can go and put a heater. I'll probably put 2 heaters in this, one at each end, and then that will be distributing that flow then from each corner. It'll be sucking in that heat from there through that sponge and distributing it evenly from both sides, then going across. So that should work out quite well. Okay guys, we've got a working filter. Brilliant stuff. Everything's working great. We've got no leaks. I've just set you up now on a different angle because it was a bit glary from down on the pond end, and a little bit noisy down there with the fountain as well, with the waterfall from the koi pond. So I've brought you up this end so you can have a look at it from this way, which looks a bit better. Everything's running really well. I've just got the old algae scraper over there, and I've just whizzed around and cleaned up some little bits inside. We've got a lot of spray coming up at the moment on the top end of the glass there, but obviously this is just an initial fill to make sure that everything's running okay, and we've got no problems anywhere. And touch wood, we haven't got any problems anywhere. So all the joints at the top there, all the filtration joints are fine. We haven't got any leaks there at all, and all's looking good. Anyway guys, if you're new to the channel, pop back and have a look. This is part 4 of this build. Loads of other videos on there, nearly 200 videos there of all different things that you can watch, from rock pooling to making bamboo hides for your little shrimps, and all other different manner of things on there which I've come up with and created over the time I've been on YouTube. And as always guys, you're all stars. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for supporting me on the channel, and I will see you on the next edition of Aquatics. Take care, bye for now.